Every 24 hours, thousands of physical assets cross contested waters, while militaries stand off at artificial lines on a map. The details of these standoffs are immediately converted into raw data, compressed into alerts, and pushed continuously to millions of screens. We have access to more raw intelligence than any generation in human history, yet we struggle to make sense of the very notifications we consume. Modern media architecture is designed to capture attention by reporting the immediate impact. Algorithms reward speed, prioritizing the exact details of an event the moment it occurs. Memorizing breaking updates keeps you entirely in the past. You are reacting to a sequence that has already concluded, ensuring you will always be caught off guard by the next development. Moving ahead of the news cycle requires shifting the question. We must interrogate the hidden mechanisms and root causes that forced the event to happen in the first place. Watching a relentless stream of distant conflicts and economic shocks without understanding the connecting tissue produces a specific kind of modern exhaustion. It feels like chaos. Escaping that noise requires a complete shift in methodology. We have to stop consuming isolated facts and start mapping the underlying context. How does a minor policy change in a tiny, landlocked district suddenly disrupt manufacturing pipelines an ocean away? This is asymmetric disruption. A single geographic advantage or a hyper-specific technological edge can dictate the balance of power for billions. To anticipate what happens next, we have to look past the political theater and trace these exact physical pipelines, algorithms, and capital flows. Over the last 100 years, nations systematically laid millions of miles of underwater cables and established rigid shipping lanes, effectively shrinking the physical distance between competing economies. Landmass and infantry size no longer dictate authority. Leverage now belongs to the states that control semiconductor fabrication, massive data sets, and the flow of global capital. Artillery barrages have been supplemented by digital intrusions that disable power grids. Control over lithium and rare earth elements dictates a nation's energy independence far more effectively than standing armies. The 20th century operated on fixed borders and formal treaties. Today's hierarchy is highly fluid, defined by who holds the monopolies on essential trade routes and information networks. Recognizing the shift is the baseline requirement for understanding global affairs. We cannot decode modern conflicts using an outdated map of the world. Network broadcasts and social algorithms are structurally incapable of handling this level of complexity. They rely on emotional spikes and outrage to retain viewership. When complex issues are reduced to talking points, the gap in understanding is quickly filled by sophisticated, state-sponsored disinformation and baseless speculation. Only Vrukosh operates on a different standard. We cross-reference raw economic output, tactical military deployments, and verified scientific mechanisms to build a clear, neutral assessment. When the default state of the internet is noise, precise, deeply researched context becomes a distinct strategic advantage. To see how these systems interact, we have to pull back and look at the physical geography that governs national strategy. A single blockade at a narrow strait can instantly stall industrial output and spike inflation for nations thousands of miles away. Crude oil and liquefied natural gas must travel from remote extraction facilities, moving across vulnerable open oceans before reaching the domestic grids that keep modern cities functional. Rival intelligence agencies are actively deploying automated tracking software and machine learning to map out every single node in these supply networks, searching for weaknesses. The moment a naval fleet adjusts its position near one of these shipping lanes, global commodity traders react within milliseconds. Look at this visualization comparing military activity with market volatility. On the left, we track sudden spikes in border deployments. On the right, we see the immediate, simultaneous plunge in corresponding global market stability. The spikes on these charts are not accidents. They are the direct result of covert operations and quiet diplomacy, carefully engineered out of public view. By mapping these physical, economic, and digital layers on top of one another, the true mechanics driving global friction become entirely visible. Analysis requires strict boundaries. We isolate verified historical events from current variables to calculate the highest probability outcomes for tomorrow. When you track the precise acceleration of artificial intelligence, demographic shifts, and resource scarcity, the timeline for the next decade becomes a matter of cold mathematics. Tomorrow is not constructed by coincidence. It is the direct, measurable consequence of the technologies and policies being finalized right now. Grasping this trajectory changes your relationship with the news. You stop waiting to see what happens and start preparing for what is highly likely to arrive. That is the singular objective of Only Rukash. We break down the complexities of geopolitics and global trade through rigorous research and cinematic execution. Every documentary we produce is designed to sharpen your perspective, expand your curiosity, and equip you with a precise understanding of the shifting global order. Clarity is no longer a luxury, it is an absolute necessity. Welcome to your definitive lens on the world. Welcome to Only Rukash.